YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on May 10th, 2017 at 17:25 in the afternoon. God bless us all. We're having a Great Lakes Brewing Company Edmund Fitzgerald Porter, 6.0% alcohol, which is a bit, well, quite a bit lower, higher than what I really like to have when I'm drinking beer, but okay. So, God bless us all. Now, without getting into the, self-agonizing horse shit, which is so typical of YouTube people, I don't want to do that. The other day, my two friends named Tony and I yacked on Skype on Sunday afternoon and early evening, and though I record a lot of this sometimes I don't. More often than not, I don't anymore because I know that Tony in Seattle doesn't like me to do that. But the stuff that we, let's say, the stuff that I had in which I was expatiating a lot about intravenous execution protocols, that didn't really involve him saying anything, or Tony Pincham, for that matter, saying anything compromising to any other people. I put those two clips together and stuck them up. Now, that's fine. The tone probably offends a lot of people. I understand that. Well, no, I don't understand that, but I accept the fact that nowadays that sort of a tone offends a lot of people. Whereas when I grew up, that sort of tone was accepted as standard rhetorical fare. Okay. Now, I've had, my son left a very good comment on this, and he said, it sounded like you were just trying to turn this into the Joe Kersey show. Well, yes, it's my fucking channel. Yes. On those two clips, which lent themselves to be pieced together, yes, I did that because it worked out. Had I stuck up other stuff, which would have been far more, people wouldn't have watched it, one, which I don't care one way or the other if they watched it or not. But, there was a lot of, private matter that I wouldn't have wanted up there anyway. The very fact that I record somebody doesn't mean that I intend to compromise their privacy. Let's say that again. The very fact I record somebody doesn't mean I intend to compromise their privacy. But these two pieces about execution drug protocols lent themselves to being pieced together and put up. Just because they happened in the context of a Sunday night Skype session, which I thought made it a little bit more fun myself. I stand by that. Now, on a more serious note, good Lord, must have been about 4 years ago, maybe a little bit less than 4 years ago, but almost 4 years ago, not much over 4 years ago. I watched a video of photographs from a unit in the 101st Airborne Division in the Vietnam War. And I wrote a fairly extended comment about the draft as it was exercised and as it was, functioning between, say, like 1998, 1968, and say 1971, 72. Well, 71 because it ended just toward the end of 71. And I stand by that comment. But the fellow that critiqued me left a very good comment. I can't say I like the way he ended it, but he left a very good. He made a very good point. He talked about the fact that the now that we no longer have draft armies in the United States, there's not the political uh, sort of payload or political capital that can be used to convince or change or influence the government in terms of how they conduct a war. That's a legitimate critique, and I absolutely agree with that. What I didn't agree with, because that then verged into personal, was, he says, he said, I'm going to try to quote this, all these guys that walk up to people in the airport and say, thank you for your service. He says, I want to say, you're full of shit, fuck you. I've never ever walked up to a serviceman and said, thank you for your service. Or a servicewoman. What I have done is mentioned that the people in the society for which they fought, or in whose employ they fought, if you want to be really crass about it, I have employed them to, try to provide the best care for the injured and the maimed and the wounded and their families. I don't know if that deserves a big fuck you for me, but if that's what the man feels, that's what the man, well, I shouldn't say feels, what the man thinks, that's what the man thinks. He was in Vietnam in 68 and 69. Fair enough. I can't contradict that. I will say that there's no question that a non-draft and all-volunteer army makes it far easier to deploy these guys than it was. On the other hand, this whole Vietnam War thing in the 60s, when they finally declassify a lot of these documents about that, I think we're going to find out a lot of strange, unexpected stuff. So the full story on that is not out yet. In any case, I respect his fuck you to me. I do. I have no basis to, but in terms of standing in fear of the draft and knowing that if I were to be, taken over there and I would be killed, and I would be, because I have no skills in these levels. I had no skills as well. I knew I'd be killed. Yeah, I'm glad I got drafted. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't sit over Vietnam and get killed. Yeah. I don't know if that merits a fuck you, but okay, fine. Meanwhile, I've been trying to watch Breaking Bad on the various, free sites. I'm having a bit of luck. And also, meanwhile, they've been vibrating out, finishing the paving today. And also, meanwhile, my friend Tony Pincham from the UK has talked to me about some new information from the situation in which he and his family are involved in the UK. So it's fine. Oh, and be sure and watch the Hyperbolic Grind Zeros video about this fine dinner that was made last. Well, it was actually it wasn't last Sunday. It was probably, I think it was either Friday or Saturday night before last. So, alrighty. So I'm going to say bye-bye YouTubers on that one now. Okay.